Boom! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Perfect Bag. My name's Clint, and today I have another one-take bag review for you. That's right. It's time to talk about, well, a little bit of bag history. I've been wanting to shoot this review for a while now, and it's not a traditional review in the sense that, well, spoiler alert, the company I'm about to talk about has gone out of business. No longer around, and they shut their doors, if memory serves me, 2014. Maybe it was a little bit later than that, but they didn't make it to COVID. They didn't make it to COVID. It wasn't a COVID related closure, that sort of thing. This company this bag maker was a legend in the US American bag space. And they hit at a really kind of crazy time for bags. This was right as Apple was really surging. iPad was out, MacBook Air was out. Things were happening like in the tech space, and minimalism was kind of on the rise. It was, 90s to 2000s. So the 2000s and on is the era we're talking about here. What are we talking about? We're talking about Book. B-O-O-Q. B-O-O-Q. Creative. So this company, for a certain set of folks, age-wise, will be instantly recognizable. Okay? This silhouette of the bag, this bag was everywhere. If you were into tech at all, you'd see it in kind of Mac rumors, 9 to 5 Mac. This is the best MacBook backpack. You'd see it on, Wirecutter or wherever the articles of the day were. So this would come through your news feed, your RSS news feed, or it would be on the front page of Yahoo News, and it would recommend this bag to you, or another bag by Book, or from a couple of other companies of the day, right? Encase was really big, and they were even sold inside the Apple store. So this slice of life was a really fun time for bag lovers, because we were starting to see bags built for tech as opposed to book bags. And so these, and not briefcases, not messengers, backpacks, tech backpacks. And then right after this, you started to see Peak Design and Boundary and Mission Workshop, and all these companies kind of start to surge. This company didn't make it. Now, we're going to do the review and kind of walk through of the bag, but this really is just kind of a story, and it's an incomplete story. I tried to get more information, like actual specifics about this bag company, and no dice. I even reached out to the founders of the company to try and get a quick conversation to hear their side of the story. What happened to this bag company? Because I think you'll agree with me, this is a good-looking bag, and there's a lot of cool things to like that are going on. We'll do this in camera number 2 here in a little bit, but you can see the silhouette, the harness, the heritage materials. There's a lot of cool stuff going on with this bag. So we got a bag that was started up in kind of a garage. So the company was a US company, California, started up in a garage, surged to popularity. They must have sold a lot of these suckers. They were pretty expensive for the day, okay? They're tagged individually. I'll show you this in a little bit. Just like a Toomey bag is tagged. And, had a pretty good reputation. I mean, there's a segment out there of folks who just never would buy a bag that did this. Okay, you can see that this is a semicircle, or the top of a circle. Anyway, it's a circle, and the bag never will stand up on its own, and it's kind of got this roundness to it. And so there's a segment of folks out there who would say, no, like, just give me a bag that stands up. And I'm on team stands up on its own too, but I'm also on team unique design. And so really enjoy the risks that this maker took when they were in business, there's a lot to enjoy. One of the unique things about the company is that they named their bags after snakes, which is totally bizarre because book, it's got this tech aesthetic, but they went with snake names: the Cobra, the Boa, the Squeeze. Like, very unique, very interesting. A lot going on with the folks who started this company. They had messengers, and click the link. Their website is still around. You can still browse this time capsule of a website. It's gone out of business. They sold out to a Canadian distributor to blow through and liquidate the rest of their stock. That is since ceased. You can still get one of these bags used and pretty cheap. I think I paid $60 for mine. So good bags, they actually have lasted. They're in pretty good shape. The ones that you see circulating around, they've lasted pretty well. There were some concerns in forums that I read about the quality of the hardware, about, is this good stuff being used for the zippers, for the actual metal bits and bobbles on the bag. All I can speak to is the one that I have here, and it seems to have held up well. All the zippers are still tracking. All the seals are tight where they should be tight. And the bag doesn't have any piling. It's in pretty good shape. Pretty impressive. Okay, so I guess, is this a review? Is this a walkthrough? Is this a in memoriam for a bag company that I wish was still around? I don't know. Maybe it's all those things. And maybe I'm just a little wistful. I just heard the news that Track from Scotland was going out of business, and a company that made cool crap, made it in a very expensive place to make bags, was innovative to a fault. Might be some parallels to Book making expensive bags in Southern California. Maybe a little too innovative for everyone to want the bag. I don't know. Maybe some parallels. Maybe that's just me being a prisoner of the moment. Okay, but I think it's time for camera number 2. We've done kind of a what is this bag? I am going to put the exact model of this bag in the video name and description and link to it, and you'll be able to get all of that. But yeah, let's dive in to this unique bag from Book, B-O-O-Q, and we'll get a chance to kind of just see who this company is and what they're all about by examining their flagship backpack. All right, everybody, let's do this thing. Let's dive in. Meet me in camera number 2. Here we are in camera 2, and we're here with the Book. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go. The Book Cobra Squeeze. This is the flagship backpack from Book, B-O-O-Q. There's the logo. You can see, tech, right? It's B, but it's in an ampersand, like an email sign. So that was their logo. You see lots of neat touches. This is a kind of I think this is recycled, but it feels like denim. So it feels like a cross between corduroy and denim. I think it's a recycled fabric, but it's got a heritage touch feel. Premium product. They developed this fabric themselves. So, a lot of, again, innovation going on, maybe more innovation than they needed, potentially. Maybe a lot of the cost that they were bearing was caught up in some of this stuff. I don't know. So you can see the hardware that some folks have expressed concern about. Doesn't look to be branded YKK. It's got leather pull tabs, and it's got this kind of branded logo clasp on it. On the back, if found, please visit TerraLink. And you can see that each one was individually numbered with this plate where, if you lost your item, this is before air tags, this is before all that. So this is much like Toomey does. You can register your bag, and then if anybody finds your bag and then they take it upon themselves to look it up, they'll be able to return your bag to you. Pretty cool. Lots of details here, right? We got black leather, kind of a pebbled leather grip on the handle here. It's a very good handle. The harness itself is really good. I don't typically love these kind of U-shaped harness collars here, but this one is very shallow at the top, so it fits well, it rides well. The back panel itself, no piling over the years. You can hear there's a little bit of a plastic frame sheet in here and lots of cushioning. So, you know, all in all, seatbelt nylon here, leather tabs. All in all, the bag is, as far as I can tell, well made. So no quality issues, no real struggle. I mean, the material is very appealing to me. Really enjoy it. Okay, we've got two side pockets, one on each side here. They zip around kind of like this, and they fold over. There's a key leash in this one, and I've put in multi-tool and Sharpie. Spork. Why do I carry this, by the way? On the road, I eat out, I do DoorDash to hotel rooms, and frequently the hotel the restaurant doesn't put the utensils in. So nice to have that with me. Some magnetic cables. Boom. And then on this side, same pocket is repeated. You can see, I mean, the shape is the main event here. You can see the shape, this, what did we decide this is called when it's just the top of a circle? I don't remember the name of that shape. Protractor shaped, right? Another pocket here. I've put my favorite battery backup. Sharpay. Anything else in there today? No, I think that's all I put in there. Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, good side pockets. They mirror the aesthetic of the bag. Kind of, it's the croissant within the croissant. And then you've got a really unique, let's do top pocket first, sorry. So quick access pocket. I've got flashlight, pocket knife, blue light blocking glasses, and AirPods. And this thing is felt lined. You can see that. So a felt lined quick access pocket, no complaints. And then a U-shaped kind of, this harness is crazy. You can see kind of follows this curve here. It doesn't go all the way down though. The zipper stops, and then you open it up, and inside is, I mean, it's quite a show in here. So I guess let's do this inside first here. So inside the front panel, we've got a zippered pocket. Toss my watch in there. Tossed a notebook in there, but you can see a stretch mesh pocket and a zippered pocket on the front with a little bit of branding. And then the actual front pocket, or the actual main pocket itself here, is really interesting. So pull out a book. Good book, by the way. Good book. Then you've got a nice size space down in here in the main compartment for carrying coats, etc. Got my phone in here. And you can see slip pocket for a pen, and then two slip pockets right here. So slip pocket, pen pocket. No complaints, no concerns. And then I put my tablet in there. So tablet sleeve and laptop sleeve. And this laptop sleeve has a little hook here, should you want to pin a larger laptop in place, 17-incher. So yeah. I mean, tone-wise here, you may be getting that I'm not as excited as usual. I'm a little wistful today. This is a cool bag, and I can't help but think, you know, if book had remained a thing, what bags might we have gotten over the last 10 years from this company? So, all right. As always, two things that I love about the bag. The first thing that I love about the bag is actually the creativity and the unique shape. This form factor of the book Cobra Squeeze is really interesting. It's really dynamic. It enables some interesting pocketing layout, and it also looks unique and cool. You stand out when you wear this bag. This bag still, years and years later, feels cutting edge to me. It feels modern in the same way that, and this is going to go back further than this bag, but in the same way when you see a DeLorean, it still looks modern, even if it's a different version of modern or futuristic than futuristic actually took once futuristic actually got here. So really cool bag. And then I've got to say, I also love the kind of silly, cool juxtaposition of the cutting edge shape and ergonomics with the heritage materials, the leathers, I don't even know what they called this back in the day, but we'll call it gray jeans, black leather, paired up with this super modern silhouette. So really, really, really enjoy that. So, those are the things that I love. Two things that I think could be better about this bag. Well, first off, I think they could have gone fuller on the clamshell. The pockets themselves could have opened up just a little bit deeper than they actually do. That would have made my enjoyment of the bag just a little bit more full. The second thing is, let me unzip it. Just show you something that I found interesting about this bag. So the inner materials and pockets, I don't like the loosiness, and maybe it's just gone floppy over the years, but the pocketing all feels fabricy, as opposed, like the laptop pocket doesn't have this problem, the stretch pocket doesn't have this problem. These pockets feel fabricy as opposed to structured, and the whole bag feels ultra structured. So something tighter, something grippier. Look at the back of a Peak Design travel pack as an example of what I'm talking about. Something grippier, something tighter. The materials might have just been on the cusp of being available to do that. And I feel like if this bag still existed, if this company still existed, this would have been tighter, grippier, stretchier, maybe some stretchy ultra material in there. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's the bag. And unfortunately, that's a wrap on this company. This company hasn't been around in years. You can get this bag used. And, like I said, I'm reflecting a little bit on track. I'm reflecting a little bit on, when brands die, what does it mean? Does it mean anything when a brand dies? I think what it does mean is the end of a chapter for somebody or for some people who were creative, who cared enough to make something on their own and to do something different. So I don't know if sad is the right word, because these people will go on to do other creative things. Their story continues in almost every case. And, they get to go on and do other things in their life. And oftentimes, if the company itself or the brand was sold to somebody else, it just wouldn't have the same soul. Where does the creator or founder end and the brand begin? I don't know. All right. But anyway, I hope you liked looking at this bag. This is a walk down memory lane for a lot of folks. The book Cobra Squeeze can be had fairly cheap on the used market. So if you're looking for one and you can't find one, maybe put a post up on Reddit in the Perfect Bag subreddit. And while we don't buy, sell, and trade there, we can help you find the bag. We certainly can. Lots of people who love bags, who want to help other people find bags, join that subreddit. Hit me up on Instagram. That's Clint from YouTube over on Instagram. And everybody, as always, man, oh man, do I appreciate the love and support. You all are the best. See you next time. Bye for now.